Stop wasting your time and get to work. I'm watching your every move, got it? Don't make me repeat myself. Your only duty as the younger wife in this house is to keep everything spotless, especially when we have guests.
Work? There's nothing left to do. I've done the dishes, the vacuuming, the dusting, the windows, the stairs, the kitchen, the trash. You name it, I've done it.
What about the laundry? Did you do that too?
Of course I did. Look, everything is neatly folded and ready to be put away. I even changed the sheets on the sofa. There's literally nothing else for me to clean or do for you. I'm out of ideas.
Is that how you want to play it? The family will be here any minute, and you have to impress them with your cleaning skills. If they find one speck of dirt or one wrinkle, I'll make sure you pay for it. Can you handle that? It's a lot of pressure, and they're much tougher than me.
Then why don't you do me a favor and check if I missed anything? That way we can both be happy with the results, and I won't have to worry so much.
What? Are you saying you can't take responsibility for your own work? That's what it sounds like to me. Do you lack the confidence to do it yourself? That's not my job. You should be able to clean and do chores without me looking over your shoulder and correcting your mistakes.
Fine. But you know what? This is how it always goes with you. I ask you to help me out a little, just to avoid trouble later, but you never do. You always find something to complain about. It's almost like you want me to fail.
Well, if you don't want me to complain, then do a better job at cleaning what I tell you to clean. If you can do that, then maybe you'll be a decent wife for my son.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding. I've been to hundreds of fancy hotels, and have always criticized their cleanliness. So if you can make me shut up about your cleaning, then that means you're better than hundreds of hotels. That should make you proud, right?
What? Hundreds of hotels? That's ridiculous. All you're doing is showing off how snobby and picky you are.
You're such a headache. I think I need to teach you some manners, since your parents obviously didn't. Unlike you modern women, when I married my husband, my mother-in-law trained me to be perfect at everything. And now I have to deal with this new generation of lazy and sloppy wives. I can't stand it. All you do is sit around and do a half-assed job at everything.
We don't sit around and do nothing. At least I don't.
I know you all are. I've seen it with my own eyes time and time again. Especially you, Kendall. So I'm going to break you down and rebuild you from the ground up, all right? So be ready. It will not be easy. And I'm going to be honest and say that you will cry even more now with me working on you than when you were a baby.
But listen, what's with you putting up that camera in the living room to watch over me all the time? That right there shows me that you're taking this way too far. You're trying to make it really hard for me to have any time to take a break and relax.
You have no right to be allowed a break time in this house. When you are here, you have to work every second of the day, making sure the place is spotless and smells like nothing besides detergent. You will not stop working. I'll make sure of it, you useless woman.
Useless woman?
Kendall, are you okay? You look like you've been slaving away all day. Why don't you take a break and sit down for a bit?
Oh, Tiana, you're so kind to care about me, but I can't afford to rest right now. I was told that I'm worthless, and that if I don't finish the chores, I'll be in big trouble.
What are you saying?
Well, it's a long story, but just know that I have no choice but to keep working. I appreciate that you notice my efforts, but I'm afraid I can't stop today.
Is this because of Haley? Did she say something to make you feel this way? I know her type. This sounds like her doing.
Yes, she did. She said this is to teach me a lesson, and that this is for my own good, so that I can stay in this family.
I see. That woman is obsessed with making everyone the perfect wife for her son. She's too old to be acting like this. Listen, Kendall, you don't have to listen to a word she says. You can really take as many breaks as you want.
Really? But
You've done more than enough cleaning already. It would be unfair to make you work any longer. I want you to join us and tell us more about yourself. We're all here to have a good time and chat.
okay, thank you so much for looking out for me. It means a lot to me.
By the way, have you talked to Isaiah about this? Told him how Haley is pushing you too hard? I'm sure he would stand up for you against his mother, knowing what she's done for you.
Not yet. There hasn't been anything serious enough to make me go to him yet. Besides, Isaiah is busy with some work projects, and I don't want to bother him with this. I don't want him to worry about his mom and me when he has other things to focus on.
You say that, but I think he's very concerned about you and how you're coping with his mother-in-law. I'm sure he could tell that something's wrong. So I really think you should talk to him soon.
Well, you're right about Haley being too much today. I will try to talk to him, or at least do something to get his attention.
Oh, really? I didn't expect you to say anything after telling me you didn't want to disturb him. Well, that makes me feel better. I think you'll be okay then.
I hope so. Please don't worry about me too much. I'll find a way to deal with this. You go ahead and enjoy yourself with the others.
I will, but I'll keep an eye on you.
You! Where the hell have you gone? Hurry up right now and get back here and get more work done. Plates are beginning to pile up in the sink.
I'm sorry, but I'm at the hospital right now.
Huh? The hospital? You're not some kind of nurse, right? You're a housewife that needs to stay in the home. Why do you think it was important of you to go to this hospital at a time like this?
Even if I'm not a nurse or anything like that, when I'm not doing well, I have the right to go to a hospital, correct? So let me explain what's happened. I happened to bleed a ton when you hit me in the head with that dinner tray and had to go to the hospital to get myself checked out. Are you happy to have your explanation now?
Huh? Why would there ever be any blood coming out of your head? I barely even hit you.
Are you kidding? Take a look at the gosh dang sofa that I was sitting on, please. There's blood all over it still, right?
And that's evidence of why it's not okay for you to be sitting on my sofa at all, right? You are a housewife and have work left to do. So there's no way I was going to allow you to slack off.
What is so bad about me taking a second to sit on the sofa? And it's not even like I was sitting down in the same room as all the rest of the people, right?
A wife like you has no right to even a millisecond of sitting time. I already told you all of this before, right? Another thing. Why were you showing all of the guests today to that other room in the house? It's because of you showing them to the room all the way on the other side of the house that they've made my job harder by being so far away from the kitchen.
I just assumed, since that other room had a much more relaxed vibe to it, it'd be easier on everyone, and they wouldn't have to continue sitting on that old couch in the living room.
Well, you made work on yourself only grow even more by doing something like that, right? I've had enough of this, so get your butt back to the house. I need you back here working right now.
Why are you being so strict with your son's wife like this?
I'm doing all of this for your sake, that's why. Back when I was your age, I had the same thing happen between myself and my mother-in-law, who worked me very hard.
Are you talking about Tiana?
That's right. I was given the most strict upbringing by her that any wife has ever had on this planet. And that's why I'm going to make you work as hard as I was forced to.
So this is what all that hard work was about. It's because of your own past that you decided to hit me outside the head with a dinner tray and make me bleed?
Shut up! This all has to do with you always being a frickin' brat, talking back to me like you have any say. You are worse than any other housewife I've known. Why did my sweet little boy have to end up marrying such a useless woman like you? Now get your butt back to this house. I'm going to make you work as all wives are supposed to.
I told you, it's not going to happen now. I'm in the hospital at the moment to get my head taken care of. Also, why would I ever want to go back to some place where the person who assaulted me is at?
You think that I assaulted you just then? Stop being so overdramatic. I had to make sure to reset your brain after you thought it was a good idea to take a break while you were cleaning and catering to my friends and family. What the hell do you think you're doing? Going to a hospital after getting hit in the head with a simple tray? Wait, what are you doing? Why do you think you have to punch me now?
You want to know why? Because you decided to sit down with the rest of us when you were the wife of the house.
I'm the wife. But
from my point of view, you are a younger wife than me in this house. Therefore, you don't get to have any time and take any breaks. You have to work all the time to clean this place up and serve everyone right. And so far, you've only shown me that you're a useless woman.
Oh, wait. That's because...
So, tell me why you thought it was a good idea to sit on the sofa like that. Are you trying to tell me that punching you would be taking things too far? It's pretty bold of you to say, when just a couple of weeks ago you sent your daughter-in-law to the hospital after hitting her in the head with a dinner tray.
Well, I didn't do that in front of everyone. I made sure to do that in a place where none of you guys could see it happen.
And that's because you knew if you did something as ridiculous as that in front of everyone else, they'd have some awful things to say about you.
Well, that's
right? After all, you did hit her in the head with a darn dinner tray. And no matter what reason you may have had for that, the rest of us would not forgive you for it, right?
You have no right to be saying things like this about me.
And here we go again with that horrible attitude of yours. You really have me thinking once again about your actions. It's like you're back to the same old toxic woman from back in the day.
Shut up! You were the one that treated me like crap when you started to train me to be a good wife. You wanted to make sure that a young wife like me back then would be perfect. And that's why you treated me so poorly at the house. I'm not going to let you say you forgot about all of that.
So you were trying to say that the reason you treated Kendall so poorly is because of the way you were treated by your mother-in-law back in the day?
That's exactly right. That's a fact.
Well, I don't ever remember treating any way that was unfair or unjust back then. I only happened to tell you were making mistakes, that you were wrong from a mother's perspective.
Nope. You absolutely did not do that. You tried to abuse me back then in order to do everything you'd ask of me. It's probably because of all that stress you had that you'd pick fights with me and bully me.
Well, you would go out and spend the family credit card on things that were only meant for yourself and without anyone's permission. And you'd use your husband's company money to take yourself on all kinds of high-end hotels for the week, right? You were the worst wife ever back then.
This has nothing to do with what's going on right now.
I think it has every bit of a connection to what's been going on here. You happened to go against everything the family asked you to stop doing. What you were doing was laced with problems. It had to stop. That's the reason for everything that happened after, right? Have you still not come around to accepting that yet?
Ugh, you're so annoying. I was still young back then, so stop trying to put all the blame on me for what happened back then.
And Kendall is the same age now, just about that. You were back then when all this was going on. Right?
I can't do this anymore. I told you to shut up because you're being so annoying right now. An old witch like you needs to shut the hell up already.
Jesus Christ, you've fallen right back into where you started.
You don't think that you can get away with things now just because you've become friends with that old witch? I promise you I'll destroy that old witch if that's what you really want to see. And then I'll have you trapped with nowhere left to run.
Destroy her?
I mean, exactly what I said there. Did you know that she hit me in the head with a tray as well now? And she did that in front of all my family and friends that were gathered here. So I will take her to court and sue her butt. Ha ha ha.
What? But Haley, you did the exact same thing to me a little while back, right? Do you think it's okay that you're the only one allowed to do things like that?
I was doing it as a way to get you to stop messing around. But that old witch only did it as a way of picking on me in front of everyone.
Your way of getting me to stop. I'm sorry, but that's not the way I saw it. When you hit me so hard, you lacerated my head. If you really are going to be suing Tiana over this, then I'm going to sue you for hitting me in the head.
Excuse me? What the hell are you talking about?
Hold on. You've been talking about this the whole time, right?
Well, listen, miss. Do you even have any evidence of me hitting you in the head with any dinner tray?
Are you kidding me?
I never hit you in the head with anything, not even a dinner tray. Tiana may be saying that she saw something like that happen, but in her old age, I'm sure her eyes are not 20/20, right?
I can't believe this. It's like you're not even human anymore. That's how screwed up your head is. Not only are you just an awful mother-in-law, but at this point, I think you're better off being locked up in some asylum for the way you're behaving.
Ah, are you trying to make fun of me now? I'll take you to court as well over something like that.
I'm sure you may have forgotten this, but the room you hit me in the head with that dinner tray in happens to be the same room you installed that camera in to watch me.
Huh?
So that night, when I came back to the house, I went and saved all the recordings on that camera to my phone. And so the evidence of you hitting me really hard over the head with that dinner tray and all the blood that came out of me after is saved on my phone.
So that's why you had all those people at the time moved over into the other room to relax for a bit.
That's right. I was thinking it'd be the best place to do it, since you probably wanted to keep all your actions a secret from everybody else. However, I never thought you'd end up assaulting me in any way when I chose to take a small break on the sofa.
Then what about the place that Tiana ended up hitting me in the head at?
You had that happen to you back in that other room where there is no camera installed at. Haley, you keep talking about how someone like Tiana hit you in the head the same way you hit me, but are you sure something like that really took place?
This? You'd better stop messing around. Well, it's all going to be okay. There may be no video evidence, but there were a ton of other bystanders in the room at the time that witnessed what happened to me. I'll ask them all to come and help me, and then I'll have the two of you ruined for the rest of your lives.
And I hope that all goes well for you.
You! What have you done to my son? And my husband? What did you tell them?
What do you think I told them?
Don't play dumb with me. My son just called me and said he never wants to see me again.
Well, maybe that's because he doesn't like how you abused his wife and sent her to the hospital with a head injury. You can calm down, because I didn't say anything to him. He made up his own mind.
That's a lie. You must have poisoned his mind against me. And what about my husband? He just asked me for a divorce. How do you explain that?
I think he had enough of your cruelty, too. He saw what you did to me and decided to leave you. Haley, you can't blame anyone but yourself. You've alienated everyone who cared about you. You've been a horrible person all along.
How dare you? This is all your fault. I was only trying to help you. You are a terrible wife and a terrible woman. And now everyone is turning their back on me? Why me?
The only terrible wife here is you, Haley.
What do you want from me, you old hag?
Look at you. You can't handle the truth, so you resort to insults. You're the only one who's messed up everything, but you are too selfish to admit it. You're still the same monster you were before. I have no words for you.
You always act like you are better than everyone else. Do you think you are flawless?
No, I'm not flawless, but I'm certainly better than you. And not the one who attacked and injured my daughter-in-law.
Shut up!
You know that my son is divorcing you, right? That means you and I are done. We'll never have to speak to each other again. Good riddance.
Is that why you called me? Just to rub it in my face? You are the one with the black heart.
Oh, please. You're the one who called me an old hag. I hate that name, and that's why I'm furious with you. And I won't let you off the hook. I'll make sure that you never touch my family again, and that you suffer for the rest of your miserable life.
Enough. I'm sick of you all ganging up on me.
Too bad. This is goodbye forever.
Haley, can you please stop stalking my house like that? We're done with you, so just give up and leave us alone.
How can you say that? Kendall, that house was my home for 30 years. I'm begging you to forgive me. Please, let me back into your lives.
It's not up to me, Haley. You lost your husband when he divorced you, and there's nothing I can do to change that. Just go back to your parents or wherever you came from.
I don't want to go back there. I want to live with you in that house. I'll say sorry for everything I did to you. Please have mercy on me. I'm asking you to help me.
It's too late for that. And there's nothing I can do to help you after all the damage you caused. Now, if you keep hanging around our house and making trouble, I'll have to call the cops and get you arrested.
No, please don't call the cops on me. I won't bother you guys, okay? I'll go away soon.
Wait, Haley, are you hiding something from the cops?
No, I'm not hiding anything. I just don't want to deal with the cops right now. They terrify me, that's all.
Well, I get that some people are afraid of the cops. It's normal. But Haley, if you did something wrong that they're looking for you, you should just turn yourself in and admit it.
I told you, I didn't do anything wrong, so stop worrying about me. Anyway, let me ask you this. Do you think you'll ever forgive me?
Forgive you? After what the rest of the family told me about you, I want nothing to do with you. So just get it and go.
But what if I really change this time and treat you better?
The problem is, you never change. You always go back to being a witch. You complain about everything, even the most luxurious hotels. You're never satisfied, are you? After that, I blocked my mother-in-law's number and cut off all contact with her. But she didn't give up. She kept coming to our house and spying on us. So I called the cops on her and got rid of her for good. I was a bit worried that she was up to no good, since she was so scared of the cops. And I was right. One day, I saw her on the news. She was arrested for stealing purses. She was snatching them from people and selling them at pawn shops for cash. And that's not all. She was also driving with an expired license, which got her in more trouble. I couldn't believe how low she had sunk and how stupid she was. I couldn't help but laugh at her getting caught. She had to pay a huge amount of money to the victims and a fine for driving illegally. She was broken and defeated. She left town and went back to her hometown to look for help. She ended up staying with her older sister and her husband. She seemed to calm down and stay out of trouble for a while. I hoped that maybe she had learned her lesson and changed her ways, but I was wrong again. After a month, she started stealing from her sister and pawning her stuff. Her sister found out and her husband kicked her out. She begged them to let her back in, but they didn't listen. They called the cops on her again. This time, she got a harsher sentence. She got 6 months in jail for theft. She cried like a baby. She didn't learn anything from her first arrest. Maybe this time she'll get some sense. Or maybe she'll end up in jail for life, or worse. As for me and my family, we've been much happier without her. I'm living a peaceful life as a housewife with my husband and my father-in-law. And I'm so grateful to Tiana for standing up to her for me. I still invite her over with the rest of the family and friends often to show my gratitude. But I don't work myself to death anymore. I relax and chat with them sometimes. Life is good,